Hello, everyone. My name is Emma, and welcome to another episode of A1 English Listening Practice. Today, I'm challenging myself and inviting you to step up your English learning game. Join me as I take on the task of accelerating my progress, testing how much I can improve in just 1 week. Whether you're also on a tight timeline or simply want to get the most out of each study session, these strategies can transform the way you learn and help you reach fluency faster. If you've ever felt frustrated or stuck, like you're not making progress quickly enough, this episode is for you. You're far from alone. Thousands of learners around the globe share similar struggles. Maybe you've tried every app out there, enrolled in expensive courses, or spent hours researching grammar online. And yet, it feels like you're running in place. You might even question if you have what it takes to truly master English. Rest assured, you do have what it takes. The key is to discover methods that align with your learning style and goals, and to be consistent enough to see them through. Today, we'll dive into immersive experiences, language learning apps, practice with native speakers, goal setting, and the incredible power of consistency. So let's break free from those plateaus and see how we can put our learning into overdrive. 1. Understanding common obstacles. 1.1 Demotivation and burnout. It's not unusual to feel demotivated when progress seems slow. Perhaps you had a burst of enthusiasm at the start, spending hours each day memorizing vocabulary, but now you're feeling drained. Burnout happens when we overcommit to a difficult routine without enough breaks or variety. Instead of continuing full steam, you might find yourself quitting altogether. Solution. Balance your daily routine with shorter, more focused study sessions. Rather than trying to cram a week's worth of learning into one marathon session, spread it out in smaller increments. This approach keeps your brain fresh and prevents that dreaded slump. 1.2 Information overload. Another major hurdle is the sheer amount of learning materials available. You might jump from one website or app to another, never fully committing to a single method. It's easy to feel pulled in every direction, unsure where to invest your time. Solution. Choose 1 or 2 primary resources and truly commit to them for a set period, say, 2 weeks. Evaluate your progress after that time. This doesn't mean you can't explore other materials, but having a core curriculum helps you maintain a consistent direction. 1.3 Self-doubt and limiting beliefs. You might worry you're not smart enough, too old, or too young. Perhaps you feel your accent is too strong to overcome, or your grammar mistakes are too frequent to fix. Here's the truth. Anyone can learn English, regardless of background, age, or education. Language learning is as much about mindset and effort as it is about innate talent. Solution. Reframe mistakes as learning opportunities. Every time you use the wrong tense or forget a vocabulary word, you're discovering a gap in your knowledge. Fill that gap, and you're stronger than before. 2. Immersive experiences. Making English a daily habit. 2.1 Why immersion works. One of the fastest ways to speed up your English acquisition is through immersive experiences. When you're surrounded by English, you naturally absorb vocabulary, expressions, and grammatical structures without consciously memorizing them. Think of it like living in the language. Examples of immersive activities. Watching English TV shows or movies, with or without subtitles. Listening to English podcasts, music, or audiobooks. Visiting or living in an English-speaking country, if possible. Engaging in online communities that primarily use English. 2.2 Creating an immersive environment at home. Even if you can't travel abroad, you can still make English an integral part of your daily life. Media consumption. Replace 1 hour of your native language entertainment with English content each day, be it Netflix, YouTube, or podcasts. Social media. Follow English-speaking influencers, join Facebook groups, or interact on Reddit in English. Over time, you'll pick up common slang, colloquial expressions, and cultural nuances. Labeling. If you're really dedicated, label household objects in English. Seeing the words repeatedly cements them in your memory. Mindful listening. Instead of letting podcasts or music play passively in the background, actively listen for new vocabulary. Write down words you don't recognize, look them up, and try using them in your own sentences. 2.3 The natural progression of immersion. When you're consistently surrounded by English, you'll notice subtle improvements in your comprehension and speaking ability even if you aren't consciously studying. Suddenly, you recognize words you once struggled with, or you catch yourself using expressions that you heard in a TV show a week ago. This kind of natural progression is one of the most rewarding aspects of immersion-based learning. 3. Language learning apps, a handy accelerator. 3.1 Advantages of app-based learning. If you're someone who struggles with staying focused or finding enough time, language apps can be a game changer. Many of these apps break lessons into bite-sized chunks, making it easy to learn for a few minutes each day without feeling overwhelmed. Motivational features. Some apps use gamification, offering points, levels, or streaks to keep you coming back. This can be especially motivating if you enjoy a challenge. Personalized goals. Apps often let you set daily or weekly targets. They might remind you to practice, helping you maintain consistency even on busy days. 3.2 Choosing the right app for you. Every app has its own focus. Grammar-focused apps, ideal if you want a systematic breakdown of tenses, sentence structures, and syntax. Vocabulary-building apps, great for rapidly expanding your word bank, often with flashcards or spaced repetition. Conversation practice apps. Some platforms offer AI-driven chatbots or live tutors to improve your speaking and listening skills. When selecting an app, think about your weaknesses. If you have a large vocabulary but struggle with forming sentences, a grammar-focused app might be the best fit. Conversely, if you understand grammar well but lack vocabulary, pick a vocabulary-oriented platform. 3.3 Avoiding common pitfalls. It's easy to download 5 or 6 apps and barely use any of them. Instead, commit to 1 or 2. Make it part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth, so you're consistently reinforcing what you learn. Also, beware of relying solely on apps. While they're a terrific supplement, you'll still want other methods, like immersive experiences or speaking practice, to achieve well-rounded skills. 4. Practicing with native speakers, the real game changer. 4.1 The value of real conversations. Speaking is where the rubber meets the road in language learning. It's one thing to read about grammar rules or answer multiple-choice questions. It's another to engage with a native speaker in real time, responding to questions and formulating thoughts on the fly. Why it accelerates learning. Real conversation forces you to retrieve vocabulary and grammar from your memory under pressure. This active recall process helps cement knowledge far more effectively than passive recognition. 4.2 Where to find conversation partners. Online language exchanges, websites and apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or italki connect you with native speakers looking to learn your language or simply help you practice. Local meetups. Check if there are English conversation clubs or cultural meetups in your city. You might be surprised by how many people gather for language exchange. Professional tutors. If your budget allows, consider hiring a tutor who can provide structured conversation practice and feedback tailored to your needs. 4.3 Overcoming the fear of mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to speaking is the fear of looking foolish. But guess what? Everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers slip up in their own language sometimes. The key is to embrace your errors. Each mistake is a chance to learn something new and refine your skills. A good conversation partner or tutor will understand this and help correct you in a supportive manner. 5. The importance of setting achievable goals. 5.1 Breaking down your objectives. Many learners get stuck because their goals are either too vague, I want to be fluent, or too large, I want to learn 10,000 words in 1 month. Goals like these can feel overwhelming and unattainable. Solution: break them down. If you want to master 1,000 new words, aim for 10 words a day over several weeks. If you want to speak fluently, set a goal to have 1 short conversation per day, gradually increasing the length and complexity. 5.2 Tracking progress to stay motivated. When you have smaller, measurable goals, you can track your progress easily. That might mean using a spreadsheet or a notebook to list new vocabulary. Keeping a diary of your daily study sessions. Checking off each conversation you have or each grammar chapter you finish. Watching these small achievements accumulate is incredibly motivating. It reminds you that, no matter how slow it might feel day to day, you are making progress. 5.3 Regular evaluation. It's equally important to evaluate your goals periodically. Ask yourself, is this goal still relevant? Am I making enough progress? If not, why? Do I need to adjust my routine or resources? By regularly checking in, you can pivot strategies before frustration sets in. 6. Consistency, the ultimate secret to language mastery. 6.1 Why consistency trumps talent. You might think that to master English quickly, you need some extraordinary talent. In reality, consistency matters far more. Studying 15 minutes daily over 6 months can often yield better results than cramming for hours once a week. Repetition and ongoing exposure give your brain the time to process and store new information. 6.2 Forming habits. To become consistent, turn your study sessions into habits. Habits are actions we do automatically, without expending willpower each time. Set a routine. Pick a specific time each day, maybe right after breakfast or before bed, to do your English practice. Start small. If you're having trouble being consistent, begin with just 5 minutes of study. Once that's locked in, increase to 10 or 15 minutes. 6.3 Rewarding yourself for milestones. Positive reinforcement can make consistency easier to maintain. Each time you hit a milestone, like a 14-day streak on an app or completing a unit in your textbook, treat yourself. A small reward, even something as simple as listening to your favorite song or enjoying a favorite snack, can reinforce the habit loop. 7. Speaking from day one, the Fluency Accelerator. 7.1 Why speaking early is crucial. Too many learners devote months, if not years, to studying vocabulary and grammar without ever speaking. But think about how children learn. They start talking in a limited way at first, long before mastering writing or grammar. By practicing speaking from the very beginning, you ensure you're using the language actively. Benefits. Faster fluency build-up. More confidence in real-life conversations. Immediate feedback on errors. 7.2 Simple ways to start speaking. Self-talk. Describe what you're doing as you go about your day. Example, I'm making coffee, I'm heading to the bus stop. Use shadowing. Listen to an English clip and repeat it line by line, matching the speaker's tone and rhythm. Record yourself. Create short audio or video recordings where you discuss your day, your goals, or any random topic. Listening to these helps you spot areas for improvement. 7.3 Overcoming anxiety. It's normal to feel anxious about speaking, especially if you're worried about your accent or making mistakes. Remember, language is about communication, not perfection. A couple of grammar errors won't stop a native speaker from understanding you. Over time, your confidence and accuracy will both improve. 8. Embracing progress over perfection. 8.1 The dangers of seeking flawlessness. If you wait to speak or write in English until you're perfect, you'll never practice. Perfectionism can be paralyzing, an excuse to do nothing because you're afraid of doing it badly. Solution. Shift your mindset from "I must do this flawlessly" to "I'm learning and improving every day." Mistakes are part of the journey. 8.2 Small steps count. Every small step you take, every new word learned, every app lesson completed, every short conversation you have, brings you closer to fluency. By focusing on these daily increments, you'll notice your cumulative growth over time. 9. Practical summary of strategies. We've covered a lot of ground, so let's recap the most effective strategies you can implement today. Immersive experiences. Infuse your life with English media, social media interactions, and if possible, real-life immersion in an English-speaking environment. Language learning apps. Find 1 or 2 apps that align with your goals, grammar, vocabulary, conversation, and use them consistently. Practicing with native speakers. Seek out a tutor or conversation partner. Embrace mistakes as part of the process. Set achievable goals. Break larger objectives into smaller milestones. Track your progress and celebrate each success. Be consistent. Study, even briefly, every day to build momentum and long-term retention. Speak from day one. Prioritize speaking practice, whether through self-talk or actual conversations, to jumpstart fluency. Progress over perfection. Don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back. Focus on continuous improvement instead of flawless performance. 10. Final thoughts and next steps. Learning English doesn't have to be a slow, frustrating ordeal. By applying the methods we've discussed, immersive experiences, language apps, native speaker interactions, manageable goals, daily consistency, early speaking practice, and focusing on progress rather than perfection, you can dramatically speed up your learning curve. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear about your journey. Comment below with your favorite learning methods. Which ones have helped you the most? Have you found success with any particular app or practice routine? Sharing your experiences can inspire others and create a supportive community of learners. And if you want more hands-on exercises, be sure to check out my next video, where we'll explore specific techniques like targeted pronunciation drills and quick conversation prompts to further accelerate your path to English fluency. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, the key is to take action and remain consistent. Let's keep learning, keep challenging ourselves, and see how far we can go, maybe even in just 1 week.